This is the Missouri Southern State University Coaches Show with head football coach Atiba Bradley and sports director Ryan Bunnell.
Welcome into another edition of the Missouri Southern Coaches Show. We are through 9 weeks of the 2025 MIAA football season, with Missouri Southern wrapping up Game 8 on Saturday at home against Missouri Western State. It was cold and rainy homecoming game that saw the Lions fall short in a close battle, 19-12, bringing the overall record to 3-5 with 3 regular season games remaining. Coach Bradley, we were talking after the game, and you kind of mentioned that this one had a lot of missed opportunities, kind of 24 hours after the result now. How would you assess how things went down on Saturday?
Yeah, I still hold to that statement, that comment. We turned on the film, and there were just a handful of miscues here and there. And, for a defense that played really well, had the opportunity to almost, shut out an MIAA opponent. And then offensively, what looked like a rough day was just mere execution miscues on a couple spots. And so, this game could have been a lot differently with a different execution. On
the bright side, though, there was a pair of interceptions in the defense coming up with a couple takeaways. The turnover battle almost even in this one. You've talked about a lot kind of this season, cleaning up mistakes, keeping a clean game, maybe a slight lack of execution, or what do you think was really the X factor that made it hard to string together first downs in this one?
Well, the first part is, I don't want to take anything away from Mo West's defense. I thought they did a really nice job. Primarily they kept someone in the post to try to help eliminate some of our big plays. But their front did a really nice job constricting lanes, making it really tough for us to run. I think we ended up with negative rushing yards. And so that's not just an execution thing. That's also a kudos to them and for what they did as well.
Absolutely, and there's kind of a lot to get to in this game. We'll start getting the negatives out of the way first. Obviously, numbers only mean so much, but when looking at the box score, the Lions finished with negative 12 rushing yards as a team, surrendered 4 sacks. I mean, you just mentioned Western's front up there. What were they really doing to make it difficult to get the run established in this one?
Yeah, we knew that they were going to come in and there was going to be some line movements, some slanting here and there, and so between the slanting and the movements and the backers playing so downhill, they did a really nice job kind of keying in and taking away the run game.
And the offense had a bit of a different look from the first half to the second as Chris Donahue came in under center, replacing Tillman Martin, who took some really hard hits in this one. Kind of a two-part question here, Coach. Any update on Martin's status a day after the game, and how would you assess Donahue's performance in that second half filling in for him?
Yeah, I think anytime you come in and you're asked to lead a comeback, that's always a tall task. No, he did a nice job. He managed the game. He probably had a couple throws he wished he would have had back, but other than that, I thought he did okay. And then Tillman was more of a precautionary deal, just to make sure we take care of him and protect him. And I anticipate it'll be a day-to-day, but we'll know more after 48 hours or tomorrow morning.
Sounds good. Yeah, I'm sure you guys are still early in the kind of assessment, right?
Well, day after everybody's sore, you know what I mean? And so you give it 48 hours to kind of let the inflammation go down and move it around a little bit. And if it's still hurting, then we got to see the doc. If it's starting to feel better, then it's just a bruise.
Definitely, I got you. And now, whether it be the poor weather conditions, as we mentioned, it was cold and raining in this one, or that Griffin's front seven we've been talking about, Lions slow start, trailed 16-7 at halftime, but the defense with some big plays throughout the first half, really stepping up in the second half, though, holding the Griffins to just a field goal in the third and fourth quarters. Coach, your group had a sack, an INT, a fumble recovery, 6 tackles for loss, a little bit of everything in this one. We've talked before about how the defense has evolved from week 1 to now. What did you think of your defense's performance overall Saturday?
Incredibly gritty. You're looking at a group that, I've talked about this. They love football. They love every aspect of it. And so when they're called to the field, they don't care what the situation is. They're just excited to be playing football. And so they continue to scrap and fight. And unfortunately, they were in some tight spots yesterday. But you know what? They answered the call time and time again. And we're going to lean on them, and we need them to come up big down the last 3-game stretch.
Definitely. They set the offense up with some opportunities in this one. Coming down out of the half, there was a stretch, Coach, where it kind of felt like everything went the Lions' way for just a few minutes there early in the third quarter. I mean, you have the blocked punt right here, as you see. It rolls back into the back of the end zone, resulting in a safety, and then a field goal after from Asher Huffman to make it a 4-point game. This one was within reach late in there, as Zach Bergman then had an INT, a clutch INT, to give Southern life with about 4 or 5 minutes left. From there, though, it was failed to get a first down, punting back to the Griffins with 2 timeouts, roughly 3 minutes remaining. Coach, can you take me through kind of the decision process? I know it was a lengthy 4th down there on that drive, but was there ever a debate going for it, or how confident were you in your defense?
No, again, like we said, we've been asking a lot of our defense, and we're going to continue. And part of that is I know they're able to bear the load. And so my thought was completely playing field position. We were 4th and 7. From our minus, and so my thought was if we could punt it, get a stop, and they punt it back to us, now all of a sudden we're getting that ball midfield and have an opportunity to go in with the score, and just didn't quite work out.
And from there, Missouri Western, once they got the ball, they got back-to-back first downs, able to kneel out the clock after that to seal the deal. And as we mentioned earlier, finished 19-12 in the Griffins' favor. It was a low-scoring defensive battle. Coach, before we head to break, I've got one last question. Saturday was kind of that stereotypical football weather, if you will. With conditions like that, it's kind of tough to have a sellout crowd. But what did you think of the fans that did battle through the conditions with their umbrellas all bundled up? Yeah,
no, very appreciative. You could tell there was a lot of moms, a lot of girlfriends, a lot of good family members, and that's what football is all about, is packing the stands and making sure we're loud and proud. And I'm very appreciative of the people that stayed through all the weather.
Absolutely. And Southern fans have just one more opportunity to get out to Fred G. Hughes Stadium this season with the next and final home game on November 15th. We'll look ahead later in the show, but for now, we're heading to break. When we come back, I'll be joined by Isaiah Green to talk some offense. Stay tuned.